Hello students, today we're going to talk about the informative writing piece, and I want you to know that for this particular piece, especially as you're getting into more logistics and expanding out your thinking into multi-paragraph types of responses that really require like more research and more depth, I am open to you changing the prompt into something that interests and engages you. So feel like you can look at the prompt and there's a lot of resources and examples already in the text to support you. So it may be that it might be really easy and supported for you to do the existing prompt. However, it might also feel like you can expand on your thinking and develop out your writing if it's something you're passionate about or you already know a lot about. And so I'm fine with you thinking about a topic that you want to inform someone on. So remember that informative writing is going to be based on like nonfiction texts, information, data, research, facts, right? And you're going to be teaching someone about a concept. So I really want you to think through what might be something that interests you or that you have a lot of prior background knowledge on or information on. Maybe you have a text that you can use. For instance, I'm going to use a model text to kind of show you how I would go about doing that if I opened up the prompt and was using an outside source, even if you're using sources within the module, and if you decide to go with the prompt that the content offers. So you've got your graphic organizer. I have kind of a young text. It's really not a fifth grade text or an older text. It's a younger text, but it really does work for pulling out nonfiction information. And so if I were to write about eggs and chicks, I would decide how my paragraphs are going to inform my reader about that particular topic. So for my hook, I start out with something interesting like a quote or a story, a crazy fact, right? Something to hook the reader. So I've got cheep, cheep, a little bird hatches out of its egg. This is an exciting moment, but a lot has happened leading up to it to make it possible. Now I'm going to get to my controlling idea. And my controlling idea is going to organize my first, second, and third body paragraph by creating a list. Eggs and chicks are fascinating to learn about because each bird has different types of nests, eggs, and parenting styles. So my first paragraph is going to be about nests, my second paragraph is going to be about eggs, and my third paragraph is going to be about parenting styles. So I've got those sentences fully written out. For these body paragraphs, I'm going to show you how I would add information, but I started with the topic sentence. Birds create a variety of nests. Topic sentence for paragraph 2 is, for the body paragraph 2, is birds can have a wide range of eggs in various sizes and colors. And my topic sentence for paragraph 3 is birds have a wide range of parenting styles. So if I go into a nonfiction text to help fill out my thinking for my graphic organizer, I can find topics that are linked to what I'm interested in learning about. So I've got this, I've always got like those nonfiction text features that it was talking about. So here I've got my contents. I've also got an index in the back that might help me with like challenging vocabulary. Typically there's a glossary, which also helps, the glossary helps with challenging vocabulary, and index is going to be linked to certain vocabulary words that could help you find certain types of content within the pages based on finding the page number. So again, if I pick out these paragraphs where I know there's things I'm going to be focused on, I can use that to go in and find more information. So if I go in and I look at building a nest, I'm going to find some interesting facts, and like I might be interested in these unusual nests. And I've got these highlighted examples of unusual nests. Nests can be many shapes and sizes. Some birds have very clever ways of building nests. A tailor bird makes a row of holes around a leaf. It sews the leaf shut with cobwebs, then fills it with feathers. Now, I have never heard of that. So I'm actually thinking, okay, that's pretty neat. One fact that I'm going to add is that a tailor bird sews a leaf for a nest. Okay, and then I could add details about that, like it uses cobwebs for the thread, right? It sews the leaf shut with cobwebs, then fills it with feathers. So those are some details. Then I could go on and see like weaver birds build grass nests that hang from branches, and they can even hang upside down. So I might add that as another fact and another detail for my paragraph all around nests. And I'd almost use this as like a note taker to add my interesting facts and details. Same thing for sizes and shapes of eggs. I can go into here, pull out information about different eggs, right? If I look at the contents, it's going to give me different sizes different colors. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but it might talk about the fact that the color helps camouflage where the egg is at, right? And so I'm going to add those facts and details to this paragraph. So I might say, you know, a certain type of bird, Arctic tern, I think I read, has spotted eggs, so it hides easily. Again, I'm reading that in my text or using prior knowledge of facts. I'm giving details about that fact, and that is what's developing out my body paragraphs. So then I go and I have a closing sentence for each of the paragraphs. My closing sentence for Ness is birds are unique and creative builders. Kind of ties it all together. For body paragraph 2, eggs can be incredibly diverse and beautiful. And for body paragraph 3, each bird cares for their young differently. And again, I've gone in and I've read that different birds, maybe like a penguin, right? Birds need to keep their eggs warm so a chick can grow inside. An emperor penguin balances its egg on its feet. Its body keeps the egg warm. Penguins balance their egg on their feet for 2 months. Okay, so that's a pretty cool fact. And then the detail would be that it's for months that this penguin will hold the egg on their feet. So that would be something that I would add. And my closing sentence is all different birds are going to be different in what they do to take care of their young. So I go to my concluding paragraph, and it's my final statement of like, what did I want you to take away from this, right? What did I want you to learn from my informational text? It's fascinating to think that each bird that cheeps as it hatches will have its own unique set of nests, eggs, and parenting styles, right? So I go back to kind of that cheep word onomatopoeia that I used at the beginning, tie it all together. Each body paragraph is organized by that controlling idea. So I want you to consider that while you're reading the informative writing exemplar, okay? Or while you're reading the informative writing exemplar. This one is linked to the topic. And the good thing about that is that it might give you some ideas on what to write. But you're going to see that they have this overarching introduction. The use of transportation has had an immense impact on humankind and the way that we live. So we know the rest of this essay is going to have paragraphs that are linked to teaching us how different forms of transportation have impacted our lives. And I'm not going to read through this whole thing because it's in your class to do, but you know that each of these is focused on pulling out information. The book Ships of the World states that after the 15th century, ships played an important role in world population growth. So same thing, if you're using a text, you're going to use that quote sandwich that is also within the content, okay, that I put in that I've added to the Google Doc to introduce and add information from a text by giving it context. You're going to say, this is where this information is from. It gives it credibility. You make sure that a reader who has no background information gets a little context and background information, and you use that quote sandwich there to start to introduce things. So I would do that same thing with my book because I've got my notes here, and then I would use that quote sandwich to include all the facts and details so that I've got great credibility and context for my reader. I always want to pretend like they know nothing about a topic or what I'm talking about and give them everything that they need. So between my example that's going to be on the Google Doc, this video, and this exemplar, you should have a good sense of where you're headed with your informative piece and how to expand out your paragraphs by using quote sandwiches and by using an informative text.